Hey everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Saquon. Don't forget, you can always watch this on your own time or listen to this on your own time by visiting our InForum YouTube channel. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform, and you can also find us on InForum podcasts. Actually, I messed that up. I thought I had it this time, guys. It's inforum.com/podcasts, and then you can click on InForum Minute. Wow, it's been a while since I've done one of these. It's been like, what, almost a week now? Happy to be back, happy to be in a normal routine, happy to be back with my team. But of course, let's get you filled in right away, because the reason why you're listening to this or watching this is because you want to know what is going on where you live. So first, pointing ahead, we want to let you know today is your first day to request an absentee ballot in North Dakota. Of course, this is ahead of the general election in November. So anyone planning to vote on November 8th, you can submit your applications to the county's finance office. They're asking that you give them enough time to, one, of course, get the application, and then two, send back a ballot. You can request a ballot no later than the day before the election, which is, of course, November 7th. And then if you're not able to go to the county office, you can always request one online at this website. It's vote.nd.gov. So that's where you can request an absentee ballot. Also today, it's a Battle of the Badges in Fargo. Lydia's about to go on here in just a second. Okay. As we know, police and fire departments in the area are going to be doing a little friendly competition while supporting a great cause. So they're going to be doing their second annual Battle of the Badges blood drive at the Fargo Red Cross right off of 12th Street North. And Fargo police came out on top last year. So let's see who comes out on top this year. If you want to take part in this yourself, you can make an appointment. Okay, so Lydia's about to do her cut-in right now.
In Grand Forks this morning, where we have a couple of clouds dotting the sky, but more clouds down to the south and a few spotty showers. Right now, Grand Forks sitting at 51 degrees with a visibility of 10 miles, so all is good there. However, the wind is picking up. It's out of the south right now at 12 miles an hour, sustained up in Forks, but 20 here in Fargo, 18 in Gwinner, 18 Fergus Falls, and 16 miles an hour in Wapton. We keep it breezy all day long, but that helps to bring our temperature up near 70 by this afternoon.
Nice.
Thanks, Faye.
Yeah, you're welcome. Lydia always has these cut-ins at certain times, and I don't know how she does it, because she has to be watching GMA to know when she's going to go on. She's usually right after Ginger, but it's always interesting to see like where the timing goes, because it's changing all the time. So anyway, getting back to things, Battle of the Badges in Fargo today. You can make appointments if you want to take this or take part in this yourself. You can call 701-733-2767, or you can call or at least go to this website, redcrossblood.org, and then when they ask you for a sponsor code, you just put in Fargo Battle. So that should be a fun one. Okay. Now let's talk local. We know overnight firefighters in West Fargo were called out to an apartment building to put out a fire that started on a deck. So it was at the apartments right off of Blue Stem, just across from McAllister's Deli at around 10:45 last night. And a battalion chief tells us that it all started on the deck on the second floor of that apartment complex. Thankfully, firefighters were able to get that fire put out within minutes. It didn't spread to any other nearby buildings, which is good. And we know that there's very minimal damage done to the complex. So right now, we're just trying to figure out what caused it, what the cost of damage is looking like. But yeah, so far, damage was minimal, no one hurt, and no one displaced. So really good news. Best case scenario probably there. Also, lawmakers in North Dakota have approved some changes to their workplace harassment policies. All of these changes come after the former policies were under scrutiny when sexual harassment allegations led to state congressman Luke Simons being expelled. So these new changes are going to require majority and minority leaders to get some extra training that would help them recognize and investigate harassment. So that training is going to be starting up in December, excuse me. And lawmakers would also have the option to voice any complaints with high-ranking legislative members if that incident does involve any majority or minority leaders. And staying in West Fargo too, guys, the school leaders there are saying they want to put more money into salaries and a little less on insurance plans for the district. So the business manager is saying that it spends about $20 million every single year on healthcare, and then they spend less than that for staff salaries. So he says if the district changes its plan, they would save about close to $2 million, which of course can be put toward things like salaries for staff, or at least better salaries for staff. So some members of the district are asking the board to reconsider because of some higher out-of-pocket costs that they might have to pay. This plan isn't set to take over anytime soon. It's not like a set-in-stone thing. So for now, it's going to use this current healthcare plan for this school year. But just something to be thinking about. Maybe you know someone who works in West Fargo Public Schools. Maybe you have a child who goes there. So it's just something to be thinking about as the school board considers that option as well. We're also working to learn when the funeral arrangements for a couple who died at a Detroit Lakes home earlier this week will be finalized. We're hearing from the Becker County Sheriff that the victims are Stephen and Stacy Stearns. And the medical examiner has ruled Stacy's death a homicide and Stephen's death a suicide. So officers found their bodies earlier this week after they were called out to their home on the west side of Big Detroit Lake. And we heard from a family friend of the couple, and it was really, really hard to hear. But she was saying that this couple planned these deaths after they were recently diagnosed with lung and stomach cancer. And she's saying that they did it out of love for each other. We heard her say, he's not a murderer. He wanted to do it because he loved her, and, they wanted to go together with their dog. So it was really, really, really hard to hear that coming from what seemed like a really close family friend of the couple. But yeah, that's what we're hearing this morning. We're also learning that the clothes and the dishes left behind at the couple's lake resort are going to be donated to the DL Crisis Center. So wanted to pass that info along, as I know a lot of people are talking about that even right now. Okay, let's talk nationally. Of course, the big story right now is Hurricane Ian, which just got downgraded to a tropical storm. But that doesn't mean that it's, okay again. I mean, Lydia was telling us today that doesn't mean that it's not windy there anymore. I mean, there's a lot happening still, even if it did just get downgraded to Tropical Storm Ian. But right now, what we've really been focusing on is the more than 2 million customers in Florida who are still without power. And again, we know Hurricane Ian is now downgraded to a tropical storm, but when it made landfall yesterday, it hit as a Category 4 storm, and gosh, I mean, these storm surges as high as 12 feet in some places, other places seeing record highs up to 16 feet, and actually during this show, we found out that the Lee County Sheriff there is reporting fatalities in the hundreds. And it hit yesterday as a Category 4. I mean, I just can't believe that. And, GMA is all over this right now. They're talking about it. They've got their crew in Florida right now. So just really heartbreaking stuff. But, of course, we're going to be continuing to talk about this, of course, on First News as well, because we know that there might be a lot of you who have family members in Florida or, gosh, a lot. So we will continue to track Ian's path. The U.S. Embassy in Moscow also has issued a security alert urging U.S. citizens to leave Russia immediately. And this is all coming as Putin put out this order for partial mobilization of Russian men to fight in his war with Ukraine. That alert is saying Russia could refuse to acknowledge the U.S. citizenship of dual nationals, deny their access to U.S. assistance, and prevent their departure from Russia. So we will definitely keep an eye out for that. Okay, Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Big weekend for football. We got homecoming at NDSU and UND, so I'm sure he'll touch on that. Also, before we go, don't forget, for 99 cents a month for your first 3 months, you can get an all-access pass on InForum.com. All you got to do is go to InForum.com/subscribe to get that deal. All right, everybody, remember to join us at our 11 o'clock newscast with Becky Parker and Dylan Vogt. And then our coverage continues in the evenings as well, starting at 4, going to 5, 6, 9, and 10. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. You're going to want to tune in, trust me, because we got a lot of exciting things to show you with Molly Ye's new restaurant, Bernie's. So make sure you tune into First News tomorrow morning. We'll be back here